Hey there, in this video we're going to mock up a basic part of our app, link it up, look at some of the specific transitions that you will use for an app, and some of the things you need to be aware of when you're working with other people's UI kits. All right, let's get started. Okay, so to create our phone, we're going to use the artboard tool. Okay, it's the second from the bottom. Okay, artboard tool. Currently iPhone X10 is the latest one, or 8. Okay, so I'm going to do it for the iPhone 6, 7, and 8. They use a real standard kind of height and width. The iPhone X has that kind of like little chunk taken out of the top. It's up to you. I'm going to click on it and it adds it. I'm going to add mine just down to the bottom here. There's no real reason for that. You might have them in a separate document. Okay, the only trouble is you have to copy and paste bits across. But so there's my first little artboard. You might be in the future and there might be a 9 or an 11 or 12. Okay, obviously just use that. You can also see over here, there's watches. There's all sorts of other things going on over here. Microsoft Surface. Anyway, so we're gonna double click the name at the top and we're gonna call this one Onboarding. So this is actually what I like to do is I'm going to put app really big at the beginning, just so that when I'm using my transitions, it's easy to differentiate my app artboards from the website ones. Cool. I'm just going to add a few graphics to this. I'll get the editor to zoom ahead because all I'm going to do is draw a few circles and stuff. So I'll see you in a sec. All right, I'm back. Drew some circles. Skip next. What is onboarding? I figure I better explain. Onboarding is often that's that part where you launch an app and it kind of tells you, it either hypes you up and kind of gives you features, or it'll explain how to use the app. And in this case, this is just going to be hype. We're going to have some onboarding like, your instructor HQ will save you time and will earn you money, those types of things. So I want a few of them. So I am going to duplicate it a couple of times and it's going to be fine. We're going to have onboarding number, we'll have number 1. Number 2. Number 3, like you'll be kind of tempted at wireframe stage. You're like, oh, add some actual stuff in here, but it's best just to keep it all very vague. Otherwise, you end up in discussions of not so much the kind of wireframe discussions. You end up in language discussions, and actually, I might pick just some of the real basic colors. Here we go. And I'm going to switch these around. I want you to have the fill of blue, you to have the fill of white, and then the last one, just so everyone knows where they're at. White, blue. There is a point to this video. Okay, some specific stuff to do with phones, or at least apps. I'm gonna do one last page, and it's gonna be my kind of like login page, which I'm gonna go steal in a second. And that one's gonna be blank-ish for the moment, just a placeholder here until I go and make a proper login page, or at least go and steal it. Cool. One of the big differences is with the prototyping. So in this case, I'm going to switch to prototype, and actually we're going to start using a shortcut for that. On a Mac, it's actually weird. It's the same on both. If you hold Control down on both Mac and PC, believe it or not, so the Control key, and hit Tab, it just toggles between design and prototype. Design, prototype, instead of clicking these two or changing it up here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I want to prototype, and when this next button is clicked, okay, it remembers the last thing it did. I don't want it to overlay. I want it to, when it's tapped, I want it to transition, but I want it to slide or push left. Okay, so experiment with both of them to get the feeling. Like they both kind of have different feelings of what's going on. So let's have a look at slide left. I always get slide left and slide right wrong. It's one of them. It's either slide left or slide right. So I'm going to test this. Okay. And let's give it a preview. Remember, Command Enter on your keyboard to open up the preview, and it's not going to go to the right page. How do we get it to? You can either click on the name and it will go to whatever page you have selected for preview, or you can set this and that will be the new default, and that's what I'm going to do. So, okay, so I'm going to now Command Return or Control Return on a PC, and now I can go next, and you can see the difference. Instead of just doing a transition, it's kind of sliding it along. To get the idea, it implies that you can slide left and right, and on your phone you can click and drag, which we'll look at later on. You get a ceiling there, kind of like overlaps it and slides over the top. And the push, okay, has a similar sort of feeling. Let's go push left. Push left. Let's have a little look. Push left. Preview. Can you see the whole thing goes across? It's up to you. It's definitely more phone-centric though. Okay, and we get to the last page. And what I'll do is I'll get skip to go to skip to the login page. And now we're going to use our sneaky trick we learned before, is I'm going to copy it. And as long as we're in prototype, I can say delete, delete, grab both of these and hit paste. And you can see, oh, they all go into all the artboards. There's only 2 of them, but they retain their transition. So now I'm going to preview, skip. Didn't want skip. I did want skip. That's all. It just skips to the end page. So that's one of the differences when you're prototyping a wireframe on a phone. You wouldn't do that when you're prototyping the website. It's just something functionally you can't do on a website. There's you can do overlays, okay, but you can't get a whole site to push to the right. I've never seen it anyway, and I doubt you can do it technically. You couldn't in the old Flash days. Remember old Flash? Next thing I want to show you is this login page. I'm going to switch back to design view, and I'm going to open up so file, open in your UI kits. So if you go to exercise files, UI templates, their wireframes, there's a special one for mobile. So we've been using Wires Web, Wires Mobile. I'm going to open up, and this one's super good and super detailed. Check it out. Cool, huh? So there's UI elements, sign up, onboarding, newsfeed, all sorts of cool stuff already made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of the sign up ones. I'm going to grab sign up 7. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to jump back to this. And I'm going to paste it, and it's going to end up almost lined up nicely. All right. So what I will do though is I'll grab all of it, because I've already linked everything to the login page. So I just want to kind of like drag you across here. Okay. There we go. If you are dragging things across from one artboard to the other, can you see it doesn't want to snap? Okay. I just drag it onto it anywhere, let it go, and then start dragging it around. It'll snap. Now, a couple of things if you are borrowing UI kits. One is you're going to have a messy assets panel. Did anything come across? That arrow came across. It's in there somewhere. It's hiding down here. So you got to decide whether you want to keep that in there or not. What the big thing is that to keep this thing looking from a crazy big, it's not messy, but it's pretty detailed, right? Just keeping it consistent, what they've done is they've trimmed lots of these. Can you see there's a little bit hanging off the bottom? This one here is hanging off the bottom. They've just left the initial view, which is not quite right. Like there's all this stuff down here, which if I preview, let's have a little look. Switch back to my one, shortcut, Command Enter, or Control Enter. If I skip along to the end, I can't get to that bottom stuff. Like there's no way of scrolling down to it. So all they've done is kept it kind of hidden to make that view look consistent. But really what first thing you need to go and do is, if I can find it, there it is there, click on it and just drag. So I clicked on the name and just drag it down, right? So you need to find the end. And remember, it doesn't snap to it. I was gonna get close enough. There we go. So now you can still see the initial views there. See that little dotted line? It's the same as what we had with the desktop view. You can see 667. You don't want to change it, especially on a phone. Okay, but now when I preview it, I can scroll up and down. Cool, huh? Okay, so that's going to be it for our app at the moment. We're going to build more of it out. So just a couple of things to think about when we are mocking up this wireframe for an app. We can push left or slide left. And if you're using other UI kits, you've just got to make sure that you extend them down as long as they need to be and ensure that their viewport stays the same. All right, let's jump into the next video. Hi there, I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Daniel Scott. If you would like to do the full course, there'll be a link in the description for that. Please give this video on YouTube here a thumbs up. It really helps me and what I'm doing. Also consider subscribing to the channel. I release a video like this every week for your viewing pleasure. All right, bye.